Hi, my name is Alexa. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be showing you what I meal prepped for the work week and telling you how much it cost me per meal. I honestly really like meal prepping because I don't have to think about what I'm going to eat. The healthy choice is just already made for me, and then I can spend my time doing other things like making YouTube videos. And right now I am working on bachelorette decorations for my friends, so I'm also spending my evenings doing that. But I feel like I just have so many hobbies and passions that I want to do. I love cooking and I love healthy food. If I did that every single day, I wouldn't have time to do anything else. So let's get into what I meal prep today. I've gone through so many phases in my life with meal prep, but recently it's given me back 1 to 2 hours a day during the work week where I'm not having to cook and clean. This gives me time to do other things. I commute 30 minutes to work and usually work 9-hour days, so I'm gone for 10 hours of the day just for working most days. I'm asleep for about 7. So now I only have 7 hours left in the day to do things for me. I spend an hour getting a workout in. I walk my dog for an hour broken up throughout the day, so now I'm at 5 hours left. I probably take an hour getting ready, showering throughout the day, so now I'm at 4. I spend about an hour assembling my dinner meal prep, sitting down, enjoying it, and then cleaning up for dinner and packing my food for the next day. So now I'm left with 3 hours to myself. I spend about 1 to 2 hours a day on making content, mostly short form, and then I have truly 1 hour to myself if I didn't waste any time in between my other tasks. I've been trying to wind down for 30 minutes and then I try to read or do crafts for another 30 minutes, but honestly, the 30 minutes of having fun usually doesn't happen, at least during the work week, unless I'm cutting my content short or cutting out my workout. If I were to cook every night, I either would lose sleep or I would never have been able to start a YouTube channel or an Instagram page or a TikTok page without losing my mind. Another reason I like to meal prep is because I really want to prioritize my health and get plenty of fiber, protein, and diversity into my diet, and this doesn't happen by accident. You really do have to plan this out. I've been able to keep meal prepping and cleaning under 3 hours on Sunday because I know what needs to be done and in what order. I start by planning out my meals. Sometimes this is just me staring at what's in my freezer and pantry and coming up with the most basic protein, vegetable, carb combo I can think of. And other times I look to Instagram for recipes that I've saved and get some inspo there. I usually don't follow the recipe exactly because I do prioritize using what I already have. So if I don't have an ingredient and can't think of a reason why I would buy it outside of this recipe, like Worcestershire sauce bottle that I know I'm not going to use up, I look for flavor alternatives and just experiment with that. And if I don't like the dish, I don't make it again. Or I decide, okay, I probably should have followed it and I need to redo this recipe another time. If I have sweet potatoes and the recipe calls for gold Yukon potatoes, I just use the sweet potatoes. If I see a seafood dish but all I have is chicken, I'll use chicken. I can't say that I ever follow recipes to the T, even with the spices, but eliminating food waste in your home saves you money and also saves you space. After I know what meals I'm going to make, I figure out what needs to be prepped. This week I made a breakfast plate with boiled eggs, edamame, papaya, and an English muffin. For lunch, I made a Mediterranean chicken bowl, which had shredded chicken, quinoa, olives, frozen Mediterranean cauliflower rice, and hummus. Dinner was a burger bowl that I've been obsessed with recently. So my list for this week looked so simple, and I literally just wrote this on a sheet of notebook paper, but it said beef, chicken, eggs, quinoa, potatoes, lettuce, papaya, Big Mac sauce. Then I decide how I will cook the ingredients. I always cook my ground beef on the stovetop. I either pan fry, air fry, oven bake, or pressure cook my chicken. I always make the quinoa on the stovetop. I can either bake soft potatoes, bake crispy potatoes, or air fry potatoes, or you can make soft potatoes in a pan. This week I chose to pressure cook my chicken just to do less work, honestly, and I wanted crispy potatoes to mimic French fries for the burger bowls. So once I figure out what I need to prep and how I'm going to prep it, I make a priority list in my head. I started out boiling my eggs and making my quinoa because I can turn away from them and do something else. I turned the oven on to preheat while I chopped some potatoes and seasoned them. Usually by the time I finish chopping up all my potatoes for 4 to 5 servings, I'm able to get them in the oven right when the oven is preheated. After I get things into the oven, which some weeks that is more vegetables than what I cooked this week, I'll start on other things that need to be chopped. So then I chopped up lettuce to save time during the week, and then I chopped up my papaya, and then finally I started making my meat. This is usually the last thing that I do. But the last thing I did this week was put the chicken in the Instant Pot, and then I was cleaning while the meat was finishing up cooking. Usually I can get the dishes washed while the last few things are on the stove or in the oven, and I don't have a huge mess at the end of the already exhausting cooking sprint. Breakfast cost me $2.65 a day, lunch was $4.09 per day, dinner was $5.37 per day. I prepped for 4 days, so my total was $48.44 for 12 meals, which is way cheaper than eating out. And I also know my meals had plenty of protein and fiber in them. I didn't have to prep my coffee, snack, or dessert, so I didn't include that, but this week I had a Greek yogurt bowl with berries and granola as a snack, and for my coffee, I've been obsessed with making a salted maple iced latte. I've been spending more on groceries lately, but when I look at the cost per meal, I feel like it truly is such a steal for eating high quality and healthy meals. I could save money by choosing cheaper produce that's only frozen, not buying organic, not buying more whole foods based foods, or not buying such a diverse mix of fruits and vegetables each week, but that doesn't align with my values. I don't spend money eating out really unless I'm just not able to eat at home because I was out and about all day, so I don't mind spending extra on groceries that I know I will eat and enjoy. That was everything that I meal prepped today. I hope that it gave you some inspiration and maybe some motivation to get started this week, but I feel like it's made such a big difference. Let me know if you guys like seeing videos like this and if you'd like to see more. I'll see you next time.